So let's go ahead. We're going to watch the cinematic. So Zoval, she shoots an arrow at him. Big surprise. It didn't do anything because he's the fucking jailer and she's an elf. So Zoval catches that shit like a wiffle ball, and he thinks it's funny, and so he gives her her soul back. All right, here we go.
Sylvanas' soul has been fractured.
Damn, that's
from the moment of her death until now.
Burn it! This was their home. And you slaughtered all of them! How could you take all those innocent lives? This was beyond life and death. There was no other path to true freedom. How can you not see that? I see what you are. Murderer! Monster! Butcher! Why can I not escape this torment?
So that was cool. I like how they added actual characters for that.
Severed their bond and condemned her to endlessly relive her atrocities. So long as her soul remains divided, she cannot wake.
Maybe she shouldn't.
She's the only one who knows the jailer's plan and how we might save Anduin.
She's the one that turned Anduin.
Jaina is right. How can we possibly trust her?
Her wound runs so much.
I have to pause. Oh, okay. What's the logic here? That we're gonna trust Sylvanas or not? So what are the pros and cons of not trusting Sylvanas? Well, you have to go up against basically a bald being with very prominent nipples that's on the same relative power scale as Sargeras. So you're gonna lose, right? This is just like, it's a guaranteed L. Like, there's no way. I mean, he snapped his fucking fingers and wrapped up Jaina, Thrall, and Bolvar in a second. It wasn't even, he didn't even think about it because he's a fucking jailer, right? And that's other, yeah, this is death with a capital D. So, like, how the fuck do you think that you even have a chance without trusting Sylvanas? Like, logically, like, Sylvanas sucks. She's really bad. But it's obvious that you would have to trust her. So it's really like, them getting mad about it is, it's just fan service. Alright, here we go.
Than mine.
So this was cool. I like this. This is Sylvanas before she became a banshee. And she's hot.
Well met, Ranger General.
Yeah, dude.
What is this? Who are you?
Someone who shared your fate, felled by the blade of the very same prince.
Yeah, that guy.
Others. I died trying to stop that monster. Only to wake up haunted by one with my face.
That banshee is you.
No. I cannot accept that.
Her path began where yours ended. And you've seen the decisions she made.
Never in 1,000 lifetimes would I betray everything I stood for. You can't possibly understand.
The jailer is deceptively cunning. When I realized I had become his pawn,
Yeah.
it nearly destroyed me. He had no doubts it would destroy you as well. Was he right? Or will you accept her shattered legacy and tell us how to stop him?
Her crimes are unforgivable.
Yes.
So it's pretty obvious that, like, in this is clearly foreshadowing Sylvanas is gonna die. Like, no shot she doesn't die. Like, at the end of this story, she is 100% dead. I think so, and in my opinion, as I said, that was not my ideal ending, but if they want to kill her, that's, like, a close second, right? Like, the only thing I didn't want to have happen was where they bring her back, and they're like, oh, well, she didn't know what she was doing wrong, so nothing's her fault. So I feel like it's very clear that they're either going to, like, kill her, imprison her forever, some bullshit. I think what's going to happen is it's going to be some situation where Sylvanas sacrifices herself in some final redemption act in the last cinematic of the game, of Shadowlands. Like, I think this is what's going to happen.
And she... I must face the consequences.
We cannot change the past, and we may never find forgiveness in the future. But inaction damns us all. Time is short, Ranger General. Make your choice.
So this was a cool idea of him being able to commune with her.
Again.
So that's cool. At the end, it's definitely cool. Reminds me a little bit of the Jon Snow thing with whenever they found out who his mother was, right? I think it's cool to see, like, Sylvanas as an elf and everything like that. Primarily because she's a lot hotter than what I would have expected. The cinematic quality in itself, like just like the way it looked and everything, I think this is definitely better than what we've seen before with a lot of cinematics that are done with, like, in-game characters and in-game assets. So, like, there could be no dialogue in here at all, and I would still say this, basically. It's basically where the dialogue comes in, that's where we have the problems. But if you want to look at the tangibles, it looks cool, the music's good, the cinematography's pretty good, all of that's totally fucking fine. So, yeah, that's the way I see it. Anyway, yes, the tangibles. Now let's talk a little bit about the intangibles. We're going to rewatch this, and I'm going to kind of make comments on it throughout, and we're going to talk about the different things, that it has to do with, right? I love Warcraft 3D aesthetic in the scene. Yeah, exactly. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. Do you think the cinematic is cheaper to make than the ones they promote, the expansions? Yeah, I think it was obviously way cheaper. I think the expansion ones are 1,000 times better, though. Okay, here we go.
Until now.
So...
Burn it! This was their home. And you slaughtered all of them! How could you take all those innocent lives? This was beyond life and death. There was no other path to true freedom.
See, this is one thing that is annoying to me, right? Is the fact that with Sylvanas, she always talks about these grandiose ideas. You know, it's beyond life and death. It's beyond freedom, everything like that. Where the fuck does that leave us? What the fuck does that mean? Like, this is what I said before with the jailer, is that, like, really, aside from, like, oh, the jailer's evil and he wants to kill everybody, like, when has he really talked about it? When do we get to hear Zoval's side of the story here? How do we know that Zoval is really in the wrong? You know about that? Like, he really, like, I mean, we never get to talk about him. We never get to talk to him. We're never like, man, like, so why the fuck did they put you in jail? Like, why are you in the first place? Like, what happened, right? Like, why are you pissed off about everybody? What's going on here? It's gonna be in the books. Yeah. How do we know that the jailer did anything wrong? Like, what if Zolval's trying to help us and Sylvanas is right? Now, I still think it's shit character design with, like, what happened with Sarfang, right? Because she's just getting mad and being a bitch. So it's like, just, you know, it's like doing bad actions, you know, for a good cause kind of gets, you know, undercut whenever you just act like a bitch. But anyway, so we don't even really know why Zolval is bad. We don't know why he's on the wrong side of things, why he's chained up. We got no fucking idea. And that's what's really frustrating to me about the whole thing, is that we have this villain. Now we're over a year into the expansion. I don't know, I think it's been probably like a year, and we still don't really know what his true motives are. It's like, you understand, like, this is his story, and like, we know about this much of it. It's nothing. So that's about it. Zolval is a great value Thanos. Zolval is a Thanos with no voice lines. That's what I've said before. So anyway, you've got Ranger General Sylvanas. So good Sylvanas arguing with bad Sylvanas. Now, this is what really frustrates me about this whole thing, is the fact that the story in here and this whole thing, it effectively undercuts all of the lore and all of the character development Sylvanas has gone through throughout the entirety of World of Warcraft and Warcraft 3. So, like, a good example of this is like this right here. I want to go ahead and go over to this point.
Met, Ranger General.
What is this? Who are you?
Someone who shared your fate, felled by the blade of the very same prince.
Arthas. I died trying to stop that monster.
You got your ass beat.
Only to wake up haunted by one with my face.
Which is not true. That's not what happened. Like, am I remembering this wrong? Or am I remembering it right? That in Warcraft 3, Sylvanas gets resurrected as a banshee, and she, on her own accord, finds her old body because she was so fucking vain that she would apparently in the story put on makeup to go to war. So why is she upset that she has her own body when that was literally the first thing that she did in Warcraft 3? Like, see what I'm saying? So okay, all right. Now, I'm going to just assume, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to assume that the soul splitting and the good Sylvanas and the bad Sylvanas split happened at the moment that she was killed by Arthas, right? Like, I think that's what we can all assume. That's what we can all go with, right? Yeah, so the severing occurred whenever she was hit by Arthas. And this would make sense, right? Because Uther was never made a deal with by the jailer. He didn't really know who the fuck the jailer was. And he didn't really know until Devos told him in Bastion, as far as I know. So this implies that him stabbing her with the sword severed her soul and cut it in half. Her scar isn't even in the right place. It doesn't really matter. Who gives a fuck? It's not that big of a deal. So, yeah, Banshee Sylvanas was in control until now. But what I'm saying is that Banshee Sylvanas was not an entirely bad character. Like, that's what I think is so fucking stupid about this, is the fact that Sylvanas, the reason why Sylvanas was always such a great character is the fact that she was utilitarian, she was pragmatic, and she was absolutely merciless. Like, she was like one of the best female characters, really, in a lot of ways, that WoW had. And the reason for that is because she would do terrible things. Absolutely horrible, terrible things. Like raising people as slaves to serve her, and if they wouldn't serve her, they could kill themselves. All kinds of crazy, terrible stuff, right? But it was all for the general goal of protecting and taking care of the Forsaken. And it's very clear that the Forsaken have a value to Sylvanas because of what happened in the prelude to the Cataclysm. So back then, Garrosh, we all know Garrosh, the asshole, wanted Sylvanas to throw her Forsaken at the wall of Greymane to siege Gilneas, and Sylvanas would not fucking do it because she's like, well, I don't want to have all my people killed. So at that point, I think it's a very, very good possibility. It's almost guaranteed. And this was supposed to be a point that indicated that Sylvanas did actually have care for her people, for the Forsaken. Because up until then, Sylvanas was always kind of doing her own thing. And the truth is that the Forsaken shouldn't even be in the fucking Horde to begin with. And they even say in the quests, whenever you play Undead, that the Forsaken are only in the Horde because it's convenient for them. And I think that is the best example of Sylvanas being a pragmatic but good leader, because she did what they needed to do to protect her people. And that is what makes her such a great character, is a character that does really terrible things, morally gray things, let's just say that, and at the same time, she's doing those things to help the people that that are basically her charges, right? These are the people that she is, she's taking care of. You see kind of what I'm saying? So this is why the character was so good. This is why Sylvanas was such a great character, is that Sylvanas would do literally anything to protect her people. It didn't matter if it was blowing up Lordaeron to kill a bunch of people. It didn't matter what she was going to do, poisoning people, killing everybody. There was nothing that she would do, or she would not do, to save and help her people. So that's what made her character compelling, is that an absolute, complete, ruthless businesswoman. You see what I'm saying? And then she betrayed them, right? So, and this is what's really weird to me about it, because you clearly have, there could have been a second time, and this is what is indicated in the story. There could have been a second time where Sylvanas turns to the dark side. When is that second time? It's obvious. It's after she kills herself at the end of ICC, at the end of Wrath of the Lich King. So let's assume that everything that she did after death, yes, so let's assume that's the case, then why would she be trying to protect the Forsaken? Why would she be doing other positive things? Why would she be trying to help the Horde and doing other things like that? Was this some kind of massive long con? I don't think so. As she cared for the Forsaken, why did she kill them? She didn't necessarily care for the Forsaken. She raised them into undeath to give them a second chance at life, and if they didn't want it, they could kill themselves, and if they did, they could serve her, right? So it's basically like her idea of giving people the choice that she never had, I guess. And again, like, this is, I think that's really interesting. Like, that's really, really interesting and really, really good. That's brilliant, in my opinion. Yes, consensual necromancy. Like, because like there are very, very few stories that really deal in that, and I think it's great. And she cared for the Horde too. Yes, to an extent. The idea that, okay, well, she just went and as soon as she talked to the jailer, she decided to be evil. Well, she did plenty of positive things after Wrath of the Lich King. That's why so many people have always liked Sylvanas. There's a lot of girls that like Sylvanas, so it's not just Coomers that like Sylvanas, although they are definitely, there are a lot of them. So, man, could it be Zoval's domination magic changing her? So this is what I'm really saying. So what is the implication with this story? The implication with this story is that the moment that she was stabbed by Arthas, the moment that she was stabbed by Arthas, she then became basically Zoval's pawn. And this is exactly what do you call it? Let me see what he... This is what Uther says.
The jailer is deceptively cunning. When I realized I had become his pawn, it nearly destroyed me.
So she did serve, by the way. So basically, what does this imply? This implies that by stabbing herself, or by stabbing somebody with Frostmourne it gave the jailer a window into severing their soul, and it gave them control over the bad part of their soul, right? I think this is clearly what is implied. Am I right? Yes, that's what I was thinking too. Yes, I think this is clearly what is being implied. How is he cunning? I don't ever see him do anything like that ever. The jailer is cunning because things in the story happen, and then later on Blizzard says it's because of the jailer. That's why he's cunning. He's so cunning, even the developers and the writers don't know what his motives are or what he's trying to do. Same like Sylvanas. The jailer is cunning because Blizzard said he's cunning. That's right. And so what does this really mean? And I want to talk about why this cinematic, why I really don't like this cinematic, is because this cinematic completely removes all of Sylvanas' agency. Every single thing that she did that was good or bad in World of Warcraft as a whole is now completely undercut by the fact that it could have just been the jailer. You see what I'm saying? So this is what happened, right? She's mind controlled, but she's not mind controlled, and she knows she's being mind controlled, but sometimes she's not mind controlled, but basically whenever she does anything that's bad, she's mind controlled, and whenever she's not doing something bad, she's not mind controlled. So yes, leave it to Blizzard to take agency away from another female. This is fucking ridiculous, man. This is so fucking garbage. I can't believe it. Like, you take one of the best characters in the whole story, and you say every cunning and deceptive and brilliant thing that you've done is completely because of some bald fucking moron with predominant nipples that's actually pulling the strings in the background that nobody knew about. He's actually so smart. And then, like, if he's so smart, why the fuck would he tell Sylvanas? You see what I'm saying? So, like, what's the logic in here? So, he sees that Sylvanas, and also, how could she have betrayed him at the end of the fucking Sanctum of Domination if she was being controlled literally by him unless he let it happen? And if he let it happen by giving her her soul back, then what fucking chance does it make? Because he would know exactly what we were going to do, because he would know what he told her, which would mean that she would tell us what he told her, which means that he would know what we're going to do. How the fuck is he going to lose? Do you see what I'm saying? It's 4D, yeah, it's four-dimensional chess. Oh my god, he wants a challenge? But, okay, I have to show you this, okay? Look at this. Okay? Look. We will stop you. Wait, is this it? Okay. So this is the guy that they want to stop, okay? Let's look at him. All right? You going to stop him? Probably not. Okay. All right. So fuck it. Okay, like, what do you... what chance do you have against this guy? I mean, really, like, what are you kidding me? Like, this is the Lich King, Thrall, and Jaina. Jaina, who's one of the most powerful fucking wizards in mages in all of Azeroth. Thrall, who is canonically the strongest shaman of all time. And the literal Lich King... Meanwhile, this was gonna kill. This killed Bolvar. This dude catches her arrow right out of the fucking air, like this was some kind of wiffle ball. Like, you know, this is like a 3-year-old throwing you a ping pong ball. And she thinks that this is, oh, I'm working with the jailer. Bitch, you're not working with the jailer. He's a god. This is like, that's why I said, like, it's like the fucking people that are going around talking about how they're I'm a partner at Walmart. No, you're not a partner at Walmart. You are a cashier at Walmart. You work for Walmart. You're not a partner with Walmart. Like, this is like Sylvanas is a cashier. She's a middle manager at a Walmart. And this guy's Sam Walton. Like, what the fuck? It's just so delusional. Maybe we only win after it changes the reality. Brings me back to my original question. Who was Sylvanas this whole time? And this is what I'm saying. So, like, so at this point, right? At this point in the cinematic, Sylvanas is under the jailer's control. Because if she wasn't under the jailer's control, then why the fuck was she doing all the bad stuff that she didn't want to be doing? You see what I'm saying? So why the fuck did that happen? We just beat some sense into her? But we didn't. She only got she didn't even lose. Like, that's the thing, is she didn't lose here at all. The jailer won. Sylvanas didn't lose the fight in Sanctum of Domination. She was losing, but the Zolval came in and fucking just took care of things. It didn't matter. So then let's look at what happened here. Here is what I am assuming will happen. And I want to put all this together. Here we go. All right.
Cinematic?
Find your spirit.
Okay. So
No!
this is what I think is going to happen. I'll explain why I think this is going to happen after I show you this cinematic.
Nothing escapes the law. Yield to the inevitable.
They've stopped their advance.
Again, you know, like the most powerful champions of Azeroth, just they're just getting jailed. And this is like an AoE attack, right? It's not even, this is like, you know, a charged up, you know, like a casted 3-second chaos bolt. Nah, bro, this is just like an arcane explosion.
The light is with me. Even here.
So he's able to protect this from the jailer's attack.
Go, champion! Go!
So it's very clear that Anduin has some sort of like divine power, and that's clearly why Zolval wanted to control him, and I think that's also why he's able to temporarily at certain points break free of Zolval's control. That's what I think is going to happen. And this is what I don't know why Anduin has this power, what the point is of it, or anything like that. But it also seems like it's really not that, it's not that impressive, right? I mean, just moved his hand again, and you know, things are pretty much settled down. So he's a chosen one, he's a paladin. Well, yeah, he popped his bubble, did a little shattering throw. So he's really just, really into the light. Well, the thing is, like, I always assume, so this is like a couple of different endings that I thought the story was going to have. I had semi-assumed that Elune would try to stop the jailer based off of Elune would succeed in stopping the jailer. And this would happen because of the cinematic between the Winter Queen and Elune. I thought this would happen. So maybe Elune is empowering Anduin, but this is like just a random fucking guess. Like, what do I know? You see what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I have no idea. The Elune thing. And then they'll ruin the Elune character. Yes, exactly. What happens to the jailer if he's hit by Frostmourne? I don't know. He probably has to put on a band-aid or something. Like, that's about it. So yeah, Tyrion thought the light would save him too, and Gul'dan laughs. Well, Gul'dan didn't even kill Tyrion. Tyrion got killed by like a middle of the raid tier boss. Yeah, that's about it, man. Turns out Elune is actually the jailer and Tyrande is his pawn too. Honestly, I think that would be kind of interesting, but they would probably mess that up. Like, it could sound cool, but it probably wouldn't be cool. So do you see what I'm saying, right? Is like, so Anduin, this is why Anduin is the key to whatever Sylvanas' plan is, and this is why the jailer is using Anduin as a pawn, and I think this is what's going to happen, right? So this, yeah, it was Croesus in the Nighthold. Do you see kind of what I'm saying here? How like these things I feel like fit together. Story smoked a bit much. Yes. Well, we're going to find out. Yes, we are indeed going to find out. Didn't he use Anduin to get into the Kyrians' territory? He used Anduin as a Trojan horse, yeah, pretty much. But I don't think he really used Anduin per se because it was Anduin himself. It's just because he was the king of the Alliance, right? If Turalyon or Varian was there, he would have done the exact same thing. At that point, I don't think it really would have mattered. So anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. And I want to go back here, and I'm going to go and read the rest of this, okay? Because obviously I went through this. This is going to be a lot to talk about, okay, guys?
Has severed their bond and condemned
so he clearly severed their bond. How did he sever their bond? It's pretty obvious. So this is clearly how he severed their bond. He crushed it, and he smashed it, whatever you want to say, and then he gave Sylvanas her soul back. You see what I'm saying?
Cannot let him reach me.
Yeah, I'm sure we're gonna be able to stop him. Oh yeah, we'll be able to take care of this situation, no problem. Absolutely. So basically, yeah, we are. Yeah, I swear to God, this is what. So this is. What are the possible end? Actually, let's talk about this, and I'll talk about the possible endings of what I think is going to happen with the war. Okay?
To endlessly relive her atrocities, so long as her soul remains.
Which makes no sense. Why would he do that? Like, maybe because he's an asshole. Like, what? And it's like, so long as her soul
divided, she cannot wake.
Maybe she shouldn't.
She's the only one.
So the odds, the implication here is that she can't wake up, and then Uther goes into her soul and allows her to some degree find peace with the fact that she did all these bad things, and then she wakes up, right? Like, that's clearly what the implication here is, which I guess that's okay. Sure.
Shouldn't.
She's the only one who knows the jailer's plan and how we might save Anduin.
She's the one that turned Anduin.
Which just seems like this is what's silly to me about it, is how the fuck does Bolvar know that she's the only one that knows his plan? Number two, why the fuck would he tell her and then let her live? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is a master tactician. You know, this cunning, like, even in this, like, I didn't say he was cunning. The Blizzard said. You know, they said this guy is deceptively cunning. Do you see what I'm saying? Bolvar is level 80? Yeah. So you see what I'm saying, right? Only leaving the biggest loose ends. So why would the jailer, if Sylvanas was the only person that knew his plan, why would he leave her alive? I don't think she was mind controlled at all. She lost her soul whenever Arthas killed her, so everything she's done as a banshee has still been her own doing, just without a soul. Whenever she got her soul back from the jailer, the conflict started within her as seen in the new cinematic. Well, if it was still all her own doing, then basically, like, I feel like that's just such bad... But there were good things that Sylvanas did while she was in World of Warcraft. Not necessarily, like, morally good things, but positive things that generally helped everybody, right? Like helping Varian, grouping up, helping the Horde, helping the Forsaken, looking out for them on their own. There were a number of things that Sylvanas did do that painted her in a positive light. So it's not like Sylvanas is just inside of Warcraft a terrible character and an evil person. Wrath of the Lich King, Wrathgate. Well, she, as far as I know, wasn't Sylvanas not involved with the Wrathgate? It was that, it started with an A, a Pyrrhus or some kind of fucking bullshit, and then it was Balnazar. Like, yeah, Varimathras, yeah, Putris. So that's not even really, Putricide rebelled. She strung the Thanos along without letting him hit it, so she's soulless. How do you know he didn't get to hit it? Like, I would assume that he did. She was about to kill her sisters, but stopped herself? Yeah. So there were a number of times where Sylvanas was going to do bad things and either restrained herself or did not do those things or did something that was positive for people instead. So what I'm saying here is that there are a lot of cases that Sylvanas is not a morally evil character inside of World of Warcraft. A unilaterally morally evil character.
Cunning. When I realized...
So, let's go ahead. We're going to go back here. She's the one that turned Anduin, which is just... That's just stupid. Like, it's just so stupid. Like, why would she need to turn Anduin? What the fuck? Like, when did this even happen?
Jaina is right.
The characters think
How
that?
How can we possibly trust her?
I will...
Her wound
I'll let that one go.
So much deeper than mine.
This part was good. I thought this was interesting.
Phil.
So Arthas kills her, severs her soul.
Is you. Her path began where yours ended.
So, like, in that, this clearly means that as soon as Arthas stabbed Sylvanas, Sylvanas was working for the jailer, right? Like, is there anybody who can read that a different way? Like, I feel like that's the only way you can read it. Are spoilers allowed? I mean, I would hope so. No, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Oh, wow. She lost all empathy and respect for her life once Arthas stabbed her, yes. Well, no, she didn't lose all empathy and respect for her life, because that's the whole reason why she wanted to live after she discovered the oblivion of death, and that's why she made the pact with the Valkyries after Warcraft 3. And also, you could see her get visibly upset at Anduin. Is it this one here? Visibly upset at Anduin because Anduin brought up having a choice of who you care about, and she was either thinking about Nathanos or some other guy that she liked. Do you see what I mean? So, like, there's no... Speaking of Nathanos, where is he? He's still in the cuck shed. It's behind Torghast. It's on layer 17. You don't want to go there. Nathanos is the jailer. Yes, of course.
And you've seen the decisions she made.
Never!
So this very clearly implies that, like, because this Sylvanas would not burn down the tree. This Sylvanas would not do a lot of the other crazy shit that the other Sylvanas did.
In 1,000 lifetimes,
what's up, Fandy?
would I betray everything I stood for? You can't possibly understand.
The jailer is deceptively cunning. When I realized I had become his pawn, it nearly destroyed me. He had no doubts it would destroy you as well. Was he right? Or will you accept her shattered legacy and tell us how to stop him?
Her crimes are unforgivable.
Yes.
What I think would be really stupid is if, like, we just randomly kill Sylvanas, like, we execute her after Shadowlands. Like, I think that would just be so dumb. Like, I'm sorry, it would just be so dumb. I would like that, but, like, it seems weird for that to happen. As, like, a narrative, like, I think it just sounds weird. No, she'll help us rebuild. She would accept it too. Yeah, it would just be, it's weird. Why even do that? Why suddenly accept it as if they're her crimes as well? Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, why does she even accept it at all? She didn't do it. Uther's literally there to back her up. Be like, yeah, this is not what I didn't do this shit.
And she... I must face the consequences.
Which doesn't make any fucking sense. This Sylvanas didn't do anything wrong. She never did anything wrong. Like, she was defending her homeland, and Arthas killed her. That's it. That's the entire fucking story.
We cannot change the past, and we may never find forgiveness in the future. But inaction damns us all. Time is short, Ranger General. Make your choice.
That's what that's actually what Anduin said to Sylvanas and the other cinematic too. So blames himself. It's terribly explained. It's not terribly explained. I understand it. It's just stupid. Yes, I understand what's happening. I just think that if you understand it, it makes it worse, not better. So, what do I think about the cinematic? We're going to look at another one. I think there's a second cinematic here somewhere. And it's very clear that, like, right here, she has her, she's got, like, her eyes back. She's got her armor on. It's very clear that they decide to work with Sylvanas because she has her armor back on. And this is, yeah, they're clearly going to do that. Let's look at the other stuff, right? So that's Sylvanas as an elf. Reforging Helm. Okay, here we go. This is the other cinematic. And this also kind of, this throws away the theory that I had about Sylvanas being the new Lich King. I don't really know. They could just make another one, right? But like that, this kind of throws it away. So we're going to watch this other one here. This is the Primus. This is the one who made Frostmourne. The Helm of Domination. We know what that is.
Imbued with the strength of those who defied domination. That which sought to bind us will be made anew. Behold, the crown of wills.
I'm sorry, but like the helmet from like the mythic set from Tomb of Sargeras for Paladins is way cooler, man. Like I have a Crown of Wills. There we go. All right. So now I'm the new anti-Lich King. And this is pretty much where we're at. Yeah, it's the Burger King crown. Yes, exactly. Thank God. Yes, now we've come full circle. It's literally Mentor crown. And it's placeholder or something. I don't think this is placeholder, man. I really don't. But I have to say that, like, imagine how fucking cool the Lich King's helmet could look if they remade it as like look at like my Warrior's gear, for example. Like the helmet from this set would look fucking badass if it was made as like a holy replica or something like that, it would look so fucking cool. And I remember like somebody did like fan art of like Illidan as a if he was actually like taken the empowered by the Naru. Let me see. White version. Let's see here. Yeah. This is like basically what it would be, and like this would look pretty fucking cool. Like I would definitely say this would look really fucking badass. And obviously, I'm glad that they didn't do it, but I think it would have looked really, really cool. Yeah, Super Saiyan Illidan. That looks way cool. Yeah, it looks fucking awesome. So like the idea of like evil being fucking taken over and subverted and turned into good would have been so much better than this piece of shit. What the fuck? This looks like a quest reward, man. We're gonna go ahead covering our data mine dial. Let's see here. So this is the fate of the jailer, and again, this is a huge spoilers video. So if you don't want spoilers, you're probably already mad. So who gives a fuck? But there's gonna be more of them here. For 9.2 PTR, we've data mined some of the voice lines from the Primus and Bolvar. However, the exact context of the voice lines is unknown, but at least one of the voice lines makes it clear. Is the fate of the jailer. Okay, here we go.
Imbued with the strength of those who defied domination. Behold, the crown of wills. That which sought to bind us will be made anew.
The jailer. He who tormented so many. Who long ago set in motion the plague of undeath on our world, has finally been destroyed.
There it is. Well, we got him. You know, I mean, I was worried. It's a bait. I hope so much that it's a bait. I really do. But when was the last time we had something like that happen? When was the last time that we had something like that happen? Never. It's never happened before. So, the Crown of Willis? What you talking about? Yeah. No way it's last boss, because 3 last boss delay makes no sense. No, it has to make sense, because it's very obvious that, like, Anduin is going to be... what I am assuming is going to happen is Anduin is the key to allowing the light into Zareth Mortis, or the Sepulchre of the First Ones, and rebuking and destroying the jailer. That's what I think is going to happen. And Anduin will be the conduit for that. Anduin will not destroy the jailer. It'll be more like how Denathrius was not really destroyed by that Naru. Denathrius was just destroyed by the light. I think that's kind of what would happen. How? That's what I think will happen. So this is what I don't like about the split souls thing. The reason why I don't like the idea of split souls is the fact that it gives the writers complete fucking... they can say and do whatever they want with the story. They can say, you know what, it's complete amnesty, complete carte blanche, yeah, whatever you want to say, ambiguity, complete amnesty, I think that's the best way to say it, is anything that the character does, they can immediately retcon out of the character's behavior later on by saying it was the evil part of their soul. Oh, this was the evil soul. Oh, wow. This was the evil soul. Oh, give me a fucking break, man. Come on, the devil made me do it. Yeah, that's the fucking point. I think it's terrible. It's terrible, like, because the reason why it's terrible. So there were people on Twitter. By people, I mean like literally 2 people. But somebody on Twitter said, well, this is what they did with Varian. Because you guys remember, back in Vanilla WoW, Varian's soul was like duplicated, split, whatever you want to call it, and they had evil Varian who was Logosh, this gladiator, and Logosh, this is what I remember, doesn't remember anything that happened, right? Like, he has no memories of being the king of Stormwind. Yeah, like, he didn't remember anything. Anexia, yeah, he didn't remember shit. So, with Sylvanas remembered everything that happened. Right? Whenever she was doing all the bad stuff, there was never a point that the person watching would know that Sylvanas was I feel like I'm playing New World. Sylvanas was being duped, right? Now this is the bad dupe, and we've got the good dupe instead. And the good dupe's doing all the good things, the bad dupe's doing the bad things. Quality experience led to her decisions that made her as an undead. Right, which is a difference between Varian. You see what I'm saying? So, like, with Varian, whenever he was Logosh, he had no memories, and all of this happened, and the audience knew that it was happening. The audience knew that Varian was split in two, and he didn't have his memories. This, what it seems like to me, is a ham-fisted, last-minute decision to completely invalidate all of Sylvanas' character development inside of World of Warcraft, throws all of that in the garbage. It allows them a plot device to retcon with amnesty anything that they don't want the character to be accountable for doing. And it just allows them to change the story and tell players that, oh, actually, the character that you liked and thought was really interesting and cool, yeah, turns out that was the jailer. It's like you're tricking the audience. Show the YouTube comments. Sure. Thanks to the art team for carrying the entire Warcraft universe on their shoulders. True and real. The Green Goblin did it. It itself was good. Story, though, purely in-game perspective. How are we supposed to know about this inner struggle? Is it explained in the books? As I said, I think this is like the ideal ending for me. What would, like, with everything in play, everything happening, what would be my ideal ending of 9.2? The ideal ending for me is that the jailer knew that she would bring everybody to him at the very end. And the dude pulls out a TV. The jailer pulls out a TV, and he says, because you remember at the beginning of the Shadowlands, where you have to convince the Kyrian that you're not dead, and they insist that you are dead. What if they weren't wrong? What if the jailer fucking snaps his fingers, shows a flashback, and it turns out that N'Zoth killed fucking everybody, and we're all in the Shadowlands? You see what I'm saying? Like, that could be a totally that could totally flip things over. That is, in my opinion, the best ending that I can think of.